All right, guys, we're going to be starting Unit 3, Day 1 Notes. The title for today's notes is Graphing Quadratic Functions in Vertex Form. We're going to start with the parent function. The parent function is the most basic function, meaning that there are no transformations, nothing is shifting on this graph. So we're going to start with f of x is equal to x squared. And just a little side note, remember f of x is the same thing as y. So don't let that confuse you. Okay, let's go ahead and figure out what this parent function graph looks like. We've seen it a few times, but let's make a table here and let's fill in some numbers. So I'm just kind of picking some random numbers. If I plug in -2 into my parent function, I get out 4. If I plug in -1 into my parent function, I get out 1. If I plug in 0, I get 0. If I plug in +1, I get +1. If I plug in +2, I get +4. Okay, now I'm going to take a moment. I basically have 5 points right there. I'm going to take a moment and plot those on my graph. So -2, +4, -1, +1, 0, 0, 1, 1, and 2, 4. Once you have those basically 5 dots, it should look pretty symmetrical. You can go ahead and connect those dots. This looks different than what we're used to, but this U shape is what we're going to be seeing a lot of the times. This is that parent function. And this parent function is starting at 0, 0. Again, why it's the parent function, it hasn't moved at all. This brings us straight into our first vocabulary word, which is parabola. We just drew a parabola. So this is the shape of quadratic functions. I'm going to draw you 2 little pictures here. It can look like that U shape we just did, or it can go upside down. The next word we have is vertex. We've talked about vertex before. You probably remember in geometry. The vertex is going to be the highest or lowest, depending on the picture, point on the parabola. So highest or lowest point on the parabola. Then we have line of symmetry. Line of symmetry is going to be a line that cuts the parabola in half. So it's the line that cuts the parabola in half. Okay, the next word that we have is x-intercepts, 0, solutions, roots. 4 words that mean the same thing. They're interchangeable. We've talked about x-intercepts a lot. And just a reminder here, the definition is where the parabola crosses or touches the x-axis. Okay, we have 3 different forms. Today we're going to talk about vertex form. So today our focus is vertex form. We're going to fill these in, but again, the focus is vertex form. So it's going to look like y equals a times x minus h squared plus k. 2 little things to know about this. Vertex form tells us really easily the vertex. It's kind of in the name right there. This is h comma k. So if you're looking at this highlighting part, the blue goes with the blue. The green goes with the green. The other thing that you can tell really easily besides the vertex is the axis of symmetry, the line of symmetry. This is always going to be x equals whatever the h value is. And again, I'm going to highlight that blue because all of those blues match up. Tomorrow we will talk about intercept form, but let's write it down. This is y equals a times x minus p, x minus q. Intercept form tells us one thing pretty nicely. That would be the x-intercepts. The x-intercepts are going to be p comma 0 and q comma 0. Again, just to highlight to show you, that is coming from the p in the equation and the q in the equation. The last one, which we'll do in a few days, is standard form. Y equals ax squared plus bx plus c. 2 things that I want to point out here. Standard form really easily tells you the y-intercept. The y-intercept is going to be 0 comma c. So whatever that number is on the end there that I'm highlighting blue, that helps you get that y-intercept. And then also we will be finding the vertex here. It's not as easy, but to find the vertex, we're going to start with this equation, x equals negative b over 2a. And I'm going to highlight just to show you, the b comes from the number that I'm highlighting yellow, and the a comes from the number I'm highlighting green. Okay, let's go to some examples. The first one says, a parabola has a line of symmetry or axis of symmetry at x equals negative 3 and contains the point 1, 6. Find another point on the parabola. We're going to make a picture, so try your best to get some lines, straight lines going here. I have a line of symmetry at negative 3, so I'm going to do negative 3, so tick marks in the left direction, and I'm going to put my axis of symmetry, and I'm just going to make it a dotted red line. There's my axis of symmetry. Then I'm going to put that point on this graph that I'm making. My point is over 1 and up 6. So I'm going to go over there, and I'm going to put my point. Let's see, like right about there. Okay, what you need to do now is you need to count the distance from the line of symmetry to that point. So if you kind of just count, and you can kind of see my little humps there where I'm counting that there are 1, 2, 3, 4 spaces between the line and the dot. So I'm going to go 4 spaces in the other direction. 1, 2, 3, 4. And I'm going to keep that point up at the same height. So again, I'm going to put my dot there. And that point, I'm just drawing an arrow because I'm running out of space. That point is over at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, negative 7, and it is going to stay up at 6. And that is the other point. Remember, parabolas are symmetrical. So if something's happening on the one side, it's also happening on the other side. Let's do another right below. The parabola has an axis of symmetry at 4, contains the point 1, negative 3. Find another point on the parabola. Okay, let's make our picture. So the axis of symmetry is at positive 4, so I'm going to go 4 tick marks over, put my axis of symmetry, my red line there, and then I'm going to go ahead and plot my point. It's at 1, negative 3, so I'm going to go over to positive 1 down to negative 3, and I'm going to put my dot there. And then from that dot, I'm going to count how many spaces to that line. And if I just you saw me squiggle those out, there are 3 of those spaces. So I'm going to go 3 in the other direction. 1, 2, 3. And that is where my new point is going to be located, and it's going to stay down at that height. That new point is located over 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 in the positive direction, and it is down at negative 3. And there's my other point. Moving on. So on the back of your packet or on your piece of paper, let's go ahead and talk about vertex form one more time. This is y equals a parenthesis x minus h squared plus k. Remember, it tells you the vertex. The vertex is going to be h comma k. And again, I'm going to highlight here, h is from the inside, you do the opposite. K is from the outside. This also really nicely tells you the axis of symmetry. The axis of symmetry is always x equals whatever that h value is. So I just highlighted those to match those up. So here is a problem, number 4. It gives you the equation, f of x equals x minus 1 squared minus 9. Describe the transformation. So if we're describing it, let's go ahead and just write a little sentence here. The first thing is the negative 9 on the outside tells me that I'm going to be moving down 9 units. And then the negative 1 on the inside, you do the opposite. So this one is telling me I move right 1 unit. And then we're going to do the vertex. The vertex is the opposite of the inside, the same as the outside. So opposite of the inside is a positive 1, same as the outside is a positive 9. Axis of symmetry is always going to match that x value, which is a positive 1. Okay, so let me highlight here so you know that the blues go together and the yellows go together. Min and max. The easiest way to figure this out is to think about if your parabola is going to open up or down. If the equation in the beginning is positive, it opens up, which means my graph looks something like this little U shape. In this little U shape, if you just think about this picture, there is no maximum. There's only a minimum. And the minimum happens to also be the vertex. So 1 comma negative 9. Okay, this is a little tricky right here, x-intercepts. We can't do too much with this right now, so I'm kind of going to skip over it. You could do this in your calculator or on Desmos. We have technically done this before. Okay, to find the y-intercept, I'm going to do a little scratch work down here. You have to do a little plugging in. So you're going to take the original problem, f of x equals, wherever you see the x value, you put a 0. And you take that chunk over there, the number part, and you could type that into your phone or into your calculator. You could work that out by hand, but once you do, you should get negative 8. And what that means is if I plug in 0 for x, my y value is negative 8, and that is my point. So at this moment, I have a few key features of my graph. I know the vertex, so I'm going to go over to my graph and I'm going to plot that. I also know the axis of symmetry, so I can go ahead and, mine is not perfect, but I can go ahead and do my axis of symmetry. I can also plot my minimums already on there. I can plot my y-intercept. And then this is about all I have. I know that the graph is going upward. It looks like that U shape, and there's my parabola. My parabola is increasing, going up on this yellow portion. It is increasing from that line of symmetry at 1 until positive infinity. And it is decreasing on this blue part, which is from negative infinity until that line, which is at 1. Okay, then right below it, it says end behavior. This is mostly for Miss Idstein's class, so just kind of watch out here. Not everybody did this, but the ends of the graphs are both pointing upward, and we didn't write up, we wrote positive infinity. And then the domain forever goes to the left, forever goes to the right. In the range, low, the lowest value it has is negative 9. It's a number, so it gets a bracket. And the highest it has is positive infinity, so it gets an infinity sign. All right, let's go through this next one pretty quickly here. This next one, describe the transformations. So on the outside, I have a negative 2 that goes down 2. In the very beginning, I have a 2. That means that I have a vertical expansion or maybe a stretch by 2. And then I have a negative sign in the front. That means I had a reflection over the x-axis. And then my vertex comes from the inside. I technically don't have anything on the inside, so I'm going to make it a 0, comma negative 2. My axis of symmetry is x equals 0. This graph is negative in the front, so that means it's opening downward. If it's opening downward, it looks something like this little graph I made you. That means that it has no minimum, only a maximum. The maximum is also going to be the same as the vertex, so 0 comma negative 2. Once again, x-intercepts are kind of going to be difficult. You could use your calculator or maybe use Desmos. We have done that before, but it's just a little hard to do it by hand right now. Okay, y-intercept, I'm going to jot it down here. You're going to take the original problem, f of x equals negative 2. Wherever you see x, put 0. And again, you could type those numbers, that piece, into your calculator, and you can get out that the answer would be f of x equals negative 2. So that means if x is 0, y is negative 2. And there's my key features, my points on my graph. So 0 comma negative 2 is 1 point. And actually, my maximum is that point, and my y-intercept happens to be that point. I'm going to put my axis of symmetry on there in red. It's kind of rare that they're all the same, but sometimes it happens. This graph is opening downward, so just make sure that curve goes downward. So my graph looks something like that. My increasing interval is this yellow side over here, which is from negative infinity to 0. My decreasing side is this blue side, which is from 0 to positive infinity. My end behavior, again, just for Miss Idstein's class, my end behavior, they're both pointing down, so that's negative infinity. Domain is negative infinity to positive infinity. And range is negative infinity to negative 2. Negative 2, it's a bracket. Make sure you're looking on Canvas to see what your assignment is tonight. Maybe you have an exit slip or a discussion board, but make sure you are doing that so you can get your points for today.